I like the intro.
It doesn't unmute. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the debut of the Huddle Sports Network. This is our first Huddle show as a group, now on Roku, coming soon to Fire Stick TV and a few apps, other apps near you. We've got a bunch of everyone. We actually have the entire NFC North represented, but hey, this is brand new, so let's explain how this is going to work. We have a brand new network. You are watching it now on, possibly if you're on YouTube, you're definitely on it now, on the Huddle Sports Network. We will be on Roku, which we are live on right now, and we will be on Fire Stick, and we got some phone apps coming. A bunch of new shows for you every day that you'll be able to watch, and I'll lead it off showing you our Monday schedule. Here are our Monday shows. Hey, Ken and myself, Ken, my buddy Ken over here, who'll be next, and myself have the morning show every day with Rob, of course, and we've got a Raiders fan, we've got a Dirty Birds fan, some other people pop in and out. Then following us every day will be Smoking Jeremy B, talking Lions, the Wrestling Roundup on Monday from 5 to 6, the main event football show from 6 to 7, Frozen Tundra, which is the Packers, from 7 to 8. Let's Talk Sports, a new show to the network, will be from 8 to 10. Good evening, Yoli. And of course, from 10 to 11 every night, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. And the show you Tuesday.
Well, on Tuesday,
I gotcha.
Yeah, on Tuesday we started off with Ken and Ken in the morning with Rob, and then we got Jeremy B following us again, and then the Man Cave from 5 to 7, and First and 10 with Fuzz podcast from 7 to 8, Prime Sports World from 8 to 9, Puckett from 9 to 10, which I got to say I love that name.
I love that hockey, baby.
That is a good name, bro. That's a great name.
We got Michigan's Sports Truth Podcast. And, you know, we got ourselves a hell of a lineup set for Wednesday. Why don't you tell them what it is, Rob?
Wednesday's lineup. Of course, we start the day with Ken and Ken in the morning and Rob. 11 to 12, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B. Shots from the sideline, 5 to 6. And then what's the Blitz from 6 to 7? Looks like Detroit Lions show from 7 to 8. And then 8 to 9, up the Bears, Halas Hall. That's Ken and Mike and the boys. Dan. Let's see. Let's Talk Sports from 9 to 10. And then we wind up with 10 to 11, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast once again.
And of course, you know, Thursday, well, we got the Stat Master in the house. So Thursdays are made for stats. Stat Master Greg Royce, what's the Thursday schedule look like, my friend?
Cave?
Thursday schedule looks like 10 to 11, Ken and Ken in the morning. 11 to 12, Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. 6 to 7, what is that? Prim and Proper Sports. 7 to 8 is open. 8 to 9, Prime Sports World. 9 to 10, MAC Podcast. 10 to 11, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast.
Yeah, 7 to 8's the Man Cave. I think they're looking for an alternate name for their title. Prim and Proper, they were with us on the other sports network. She's been making comments on our shows. Good show there. Hey, D-Roy, we got the Vikings in the house. What's up with Fridays?
Well, it looks like 10 to 11, we got Ken and Ken in the morning. 11 to 12, we got Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. 5 to 6, we got Spittin' Ballin' Podcast. 6 to 7, we got Prime and Proper Sports. 7 to 8, we got the Frozen Tundra Network. 8 to 9, we got the Lions Fan Cave Chat. 9 to 10, we got Detroit Lion Fan. 10 to 11, we got the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast.
There we go, Prim and Proper again. She's gonna tear it up. You guys are gonna like her if you haven't watched the show before. She's awesome. Hey Dan, I know you like Saturdays. Why don't you let us know what's up with Saturdays this year?
Yeah, the list isn't 100%. There's a couple podcasters joining us. I just got this one. I haven't 100% updated yet, but yeah, Off the Rails.
Off the Rails. There we go.
Well, Saturdays from 8 to 10, we'll have Around the Indoor Football World. From 11 to 12, we'll have Shield TV. 12 to 1, the Valhalla Hour. 3 to 4, the Cheap Seats, the Man Cave. 4 to 5, another hour of the Cheap Seats with the Man Cave. 6 to 7, the 313 Ben Podcast. 7 to 8, the Huddle Streaming Network. 8 to 9, Skol Game 365. 9 to 10, spring football reports. And 10 to 11, the Guys Huddle podcast.
Yeah, that Skol game 365. I don't know. I guess that's that D-Roy character. Yeah, And then the 313. You gotta say it like the area code. It's the 313. It's kind of like those guys in Jacksonville who go Duval. But we don't have a Duval guy yet. And then of course I'll finish out Sundays. We got the pregame staying right where it's always been. Actually, we've extended it to a full hour now. 11 to noon is gonna be Halas Hard Report, and from 12 to 1, Broseph Sports. That is the lineup now. When I bring up the main schedule, you guys can see you're a podcaster. We have some room still. Now, if you're not a podcaster, but you're someone who wants to watch sports, we got you covered. Until these holes and you see in the schedule get filled by other shows, you'll have reruns of other shows from the whole network that will air on the Roku channel 24/7, 365. So there'll always be some kind of podcast of sports, whether it be hockey, we got wrestling, we got football for you. And of course, Saturday night, of course, now being the big, kind of like we're going to do a little bit of today, preview a little today of an open session for people to come in and talk football. Tonight, of course, we've got the NFC North completely in control in the house. And we want to talk about, good evening, Matt, not just the NFC North, but all our great fans that keep Matt's on every morning with us. Yoli, you're on with us every morning. Thank you so much. Man Cave, it's great to see you. Look forward to seeing your show too. I've heard nothing but great things. Dude, the comments we get in the morning show, I hope you guys can bring it every Saturday night when we do this open mic. Let's do some open micing now. Let's talk something we're talking pre-show as we're getting ready. The NFC North and the parity. I will start it off with Greg, the stat master Rice, who's chilling in sunny California right now. Greg, this division has parity. Who stands out? Who misses the cut? How close is this division really?
I'll just say it right now. I think we're the best division in the conference. You look at the Bears off season. How can you not like it? The Vikings, obviously, without Kirk Cousins, there's going to be a little growth period for them. But you look at some of their key positions, they've got core pieces on that team. I mean, Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the game. TJ Hawkinson, easily top 5 at his position. They brought in some free agents to kind of help alleviate the offset loss of Daniel Hunter. I like the Greener pickup. I think Van Ginkel's a great situational guy. The draft, Dallas Turner. You bring in 2 top prospects, J.J. McCarthy, who I look more as a project player, but, we'll just have to see how fast he adapts. Sam Darnold, we all bash him. Had kind of just a bad, rough start in the NFL. Never really been given a fair shake. He did have a nice little stretch with the Panthers, but then he kind of fell off. So, I think really, as I first stated, this is probably the best and most competitive division in the conference.
So, D-Roy, I mean, you guys probably are the biggest question mark. If you were to poll the 4 teams in the division, what do you think your Vikings' chances are this season?
I got us. Our window for me, 6 wins for me. That's being realistic. Losing Kirk Cousins, you got to shift that now to Sam Darnold, and then you brought in J.J. McCarthy in the draft, who's most likely going to sit this first year because Sam Darnold's going to be the bridge quarterback.
Yep.
Try to help him get ready. And, I think what's going to be carrying us is this defense. I mean, bringing all these pieces, something for Brian Flores to play around with. It's going to be fun to watch this young defense here in Mini.
I mean, Ken, building off that, man, they have right now the odds-on favorite by Vegas, defensive rookie of the year in Minnesota. So, I mean, we got to give a little respect to the Vikings as far as their defense. I think their defense will keep them close and may actually win them a few games outside the division. Where do you see the Vikings this year in terms of the division? Maybe even playing for a playoff spot. I mean, where do you see them this year?
Yeah, with the Vikings, to me, a lot of it depends on how their quarterback situation goes. I love the additions that they did with the defense, like you mentioned. Dallas Turner falling into their laps was one of the best things that could have happened for them, especially with losing Danielle Hunter. But if their quarterback, if it's Sam Darnold or JJ, whichever one ends up being the guy, if he can just be decent with the offense they have, There are absolutely no slouch, and we have to watch out for them. Everybody in the division, they could be sneaky good.
Yeah, Dan, I mean, you and I, as Bears fans, have a little history with this. I say this with Sam Darnold and or JJ. If he can channel the inner neck beard, right? If they can channel the inner neck beard, a little Kyle Orton magic up there in Minnesota, Dan. I mean, I think they could possibly win. Their range is maybe 6-10, maybe even sneak in an 11th win. I don't know, Dan. What do you think? You think they might be able to pull that off? They can get the inner, their little inner Kyle Orton to come out.
Anything's possible, and that maybe, as I said, the defense will be good with Dallas Turner and that, and who knows, maybe Sam Darnold surprise everybody. Eventually might see what JJ McCarthy, he could, turn out to be all right.
Yeah, Rob, let me go to you as the voice of reason to all us yahoos who think the Vikings have a shot. So, Rob,
I don't even get all this.
I know, Rob. I mean, so how long? First off, how long do you give Darnold before he's kicked off the team and JJ's a starter? And then, what do you think? You're as a unbiased Packers fan.
Well, I mean, their approach to the whole we're going to put Sam Darnold in as a bridge quarterback. I mean, that's a great idea, but he's going to get killed. That guy's not a real quarterback, I don't think. He's not. He hasn't been good at any other teams he's played on. He's not gonna. I mean, even with your talent, and I'm still not convinced JJ is going to be there at the start. I mean, I know he's under contract, but he wants something solid. And if JJ can't prove he's the guy, which on from the camp and what I heard coming out of camp, he's not looking hot. So, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be the guy to say they're going to get 10 wins because it's not going to happen. I'm saying 6 to 7 wins maybe, and that's like, your defense would maybe get you 1 or 2, but that's probably it.
Yeah, I just want to be a little off. I want to give some Vikings fans some hope. That's why I say 6. Look at the season hasn't started yet, guys. Let's give these guys some hope. Speaking of teams that have hope, Greg Rice, all I hear from Lions Nation from the 313 is how the Lions have the best of everything at every position. We yammer about it on the morning show. All right, look, I know you're not one of those guys who's when for those who don't know Greg, when Greg does a homer take, I'm like, that was a homer take. Where are the Vikings or where are the Lions realistically? Because I listen to some of these guys, and if I listen to them, you guys are basically all pro at every position. Yeah, all pro at every position.
We're screwed. Everybody's screwed.
Everyone's all first team all pro, and all the backups are second team all pro. What's the reality in Detroit, man?
Well, the reality is to be honest with you, Ken, we still have a very good team with very good young players. We saw what Sam Laporta did last year. I wasn't exactly thrilled with our offseason, but then you take into account that you got Sam Laporta coming into season 2. Amon-Ra is now recognized as one of the best wide receivers in the league. You guys already know what time it is with this offensive line. We're maulers. We got maulers up there. On the flip side, I didn't like what we did at edge opposite Hutchinson. I think we're going into a situation very similar to last year where it's like, hey, may the best man win, and that just doesn't always work out. I would have liked a solidified, a true number 2 edge piece opposite Hutchinson. It didn't happen, so it looks like it's going to be edge by committee opposite Aiden Hutchinson. I did like bringing in DJ Reader. This is a very young team that has been built essentially through the draft, you guys. And you got a lot of young core pieces yet still to hit their prime. That being said, discussing it with other teams, the parity is very close. I love the Bears offseason. I like the Vikings and the Packers offseason. But, I mean, you look at what we have on offense and to think these young pieces can continue to develop and even possibly get better, it's hard not to like what we have. But I don't think we're going to have another 12-win season. I don't think we're going to run away with the division like we did last year. I think it'll be much tighter. Like I just spoke, I like all the other division rivals off seasons.
So
you
Rob,
guys led all season last year. It was a good year for you guys. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Rob. I mean, what are you thinking about this Lions team? I mean,
Greg, where's your depth on your wide receivers? After Amon-Ra, who you guys got, man?
So we got Amon-Ra. J-Mo really came into his own the second half of last season. I'll say this, wide receiver is probably our we have the least depth there, Rob. And to be honest with you, man, I was really hoping we were going to pick up a Zay Jones, who just recently signed with AZ. There's been some rumblings about possibly reuniting Dan Campbell with Michael Thomas. Most of you know Michael Thomas set the reception record several seasons back. He's obviously not the same player. He left the Saints, an organization which he was held in high regards when he first came there, obviously set a record there, an NFL record there. He left on a really bad note. You know, he really threw his quarterback, Derek Carr, underneath the bus, was kind of just smack talking the organization. Got into it with a lot of fans on Twitter after he was addressed as Slam Boy, and boy, did he get slammed. Boy, did he get slammed.
Slam Boy.
But, you know, on the flip side, I agree. Wide receiver is a huge question mark for the Lions. We had a couple games where J-Mo as well as St. Brown weren't 100% or weren't playing at all. And one of those games, Goff was miraculous that game. The other game didn't look so hot. So wide receiver is definitely concerned. But essentially at every other position on the offensive end, I think the Lions are really stacked. I'm not going to go out there and say we have all pro first teamers, but for reasons I just alluded to, you guys, we got this offense is pretty damn good.
Hey Rob, Greg, I'm getting a phone call. It's the playoffs calling for Amram.
Oh shit! Yeah, he didn't show up for the playoffs.
I mean, Rob. I mean,
it doesn't shake his talent, but that's got to be. You guys got to be worried about your wide receiver core because you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Goff needs someone to throw to, and I know Laporta came into his own. Some of your cohorts that claim he's the best tight end in the NFL.
That's a bit much. I think Travis Kelce or Kittle at this point, but I think it's fair to say that production-wise, he was a top 5 tight end last year.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, bro. You guys hit on your draft last year, totally. Yeah. You guys totally hit on your draft, totally.
Ken, we've talked about the tight ends on the morning show, and Laporta had great numbers as a rookie, but I would argue that all 4 teams in this division are going to get great production out of their tight end for what they need and what they did last year. So, and I'm not going to say Laporta's going to have a sophomore slump, but the odds are not in his favor, right? Most guys do have some type of sophomore slump. So, Ken, where do you see the Lions this year in terms of the division? And if they win, record winning the division, I mean, I agree with Greg, it's close, but where are you at?
I was going to say, for this division, I think it's going to be a dogfight for number 1 between Green Bay, the Bears, and the Lions. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Lions finish third just because of how much the Packers and Bears improved this year. Because to me, with the Lions offseason, they didn't get worse, but they didn't get too much better. It's almost like they kind of just stayed in a straight line while everybody else improved. Now, if you're going to ask my pick on who's going to win, of course I'm going to go Green Bay because being a Packers fan and
fucking Homer.
oh, come on there, Rob. You already know you're picking Green Bay.
Fucking Homer.
3 times fucking over.
Bro, I'm there with you, bro. It's cool.
Hey, Dan. I mean, I think Ken has a point though, and Greg was even shaking his head a little bit. It seems like the Lions, they kind of like stayed static a little bit. They made some tweaks, but they picked up, they lost. They picked up, they lost. Where do you see them, Dan?
They're the team to beat in the division.
Yeah.
In that they won it last year, and that I think everybody's saying it's going to be between the Bears, the Lions, and the Packers. In that,
and of course, Dan being a Homer Bears fan is going to take the Bears.
Plead the fifth.
I was going to say, if we're not picking our teams to win our division at this point in the year, yeah, exactly.
So look at poor D-Roy. He's like, well, they've talked about my Vikings. Now we're in the cellar, and he blacked out the screen. D-Roy, you with us?
Yep.
Okay, so we're he's just like hiding because he doesn't want to. He wasn't sure everyone is laughing. Where do you see the Lions this year in the mix of the division? What's your feel of their offseason?
I have a feeling that the Lions are going to take a step back. I feel like they're going to be in the second place spot, not totally out of the mix, but I think Green Bay is going to take that step forward. And then, the Bears are going to be right there with the Lions, fighting for that second spot.
Ooh.
And then, of course, the Vikings, I just feel like, we're just still trying to figure out this quarterback thing. So
Yeah.
I think, we're just going to be back there in the basement.
Yeah, you guys are building your team, bro. You're getting experience for your quarterback.
Woody, of course, says the Bears will be in third, but he hates Caleb Williams though too. I'll add that in. So look, here's my take on the Lions. I think the Lions had a really kind of like Greg said, they got better, they played some holes, but they really didn't answer some other questions. I think Hutchinson got a little exposed towards the end of the season, how you can really guard against Hutchinson and stop him. Just like Amron, just like St. Brown was gone in the playoffs. He had a couple nice third down receptions, but for the most part, he was gone in the playoffs. I would say they got better, but not tremendously better. The Bears probably got the most as far as closing a gap. The Packers did a couple things to fix their defense, of one of which I think is going to be hard when we've had some discussion on the morning show. Look, they're changing their defensive scheme completely. That usually takes a full season to implement. So with the Packers, for me, it's how fast can they implement the new defense and get over those growing pains. Most NFL teams take a year. It'll be interesting to see. With the Vikings, it's basically just that quarterback play is their issue, and that is what kind of quarterback player that you're going to get. With the Lions, I think that the other interesting thing about the Lions is this. They just paid St. Brown a boatload of money. They backed up the truck. They're going to have to back up the truck as early as maybe Tuesday or Wednesday for Jared Goff, which Greg can tell you that there is an argument in the Lions community. Like, is it Hooker time? No, not hookers and blow. They want.
Oh, damn it! You got me all excited here, Ken.
I know. I mean, that's the thing.
Another guy believes 3 teams will be there from the north.
Look, he's not alone. Good point. Fox Sports actually said the same thing.
Matt.
But how good is it really? That's like, and look, you can make the same argument with the Bears, and we'll talk about the Bears next, right? The Bears revamped their offensive line by basically jettisoning anyone who ever played the center position and bringing in all new, better guys at center. That's basically the revamping of the offensive line. We drafted a guy in the third, who's a hometown guy, went to Yale, smart guy, like him. But how much is that going to translate as far as going from 27th pass offensive line in the league to maybe 15 or 12 or 10? Bears defensively are stout. They're still great. The edge rusher on the other side, we draft the guy we drafted in the 5th is a sleeper, but he's a project. He's high upside. I don't think he's an immediate starter contributor. So maybe we re-sign Ngakoue. We talked about that on the House Hall report this morning. Maybe Yannick comes back. But the Bears made a huge leap offensively, bringing in another stud tight end who everywhere he's gone has been nothing but a safety net and a standout. They brought in a 1,000-yard receiver in Keenan Allen to go with DJ Moore, who had 1,000+ last year in a career year. You draft Rome Odunze, who's probably good for anywhere from 800 to 1,000. He's a number 1 probably on a lot of teams in the league. The running back room, you added Swift. I don't think Swift has to be the every down guy. He can be I think the Bears can use him like the Lions did. Goal line, short distance, because you've got Roshan, you've got I'm brain farting my other running back. You got a 3-headed monster, that can move the ball.
Herbert.
Yeah, so Khalil Herbert. So for me, with this new Bears team, anything less than 10 wins is a disappointment. That's because I think this team would get 10 wins if they had Fields, if they had Drake May, because I know Woody's here now, and he likes May. That's where I see the Bears. I mean, I want to go off Bears and back Bear. Let's go to Rob, and then we'll go to Woody. Rob, where do you see the Bears after their offseason?
And I've said it, man. You hear me say it every time we talk about it. You guys have added some depth at almost every position on offense, bro. I mean, if you don't have 10 wins, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a failed season. I mean, you guys have added depth on your running backs, wide receivers, quarterback. I mean, bro, pick a position. Tight end you added, O-line. I mean, everywhere, bro. I mean, you even added a punter, for fuck's sake.
Right.
I mean, you guys are the only ones that drafted a punter, but god damn it, you got a punter, a weapon.
All right, Woody. What do you think?
Solid third.
Solid Bears. Keeping it real, Woody. I love it. Keeping it
I
real.
was going to say, Woody's just mad that after the Packers beat them again, that Caleb's going to be chanting, "Go, Pack, go."
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it'll probably be another sweep this year anyway.
There we go. That's what I like to hear from Bear fans. Can't you get Glennon on that train, damn it?
Hey,
Yeah.
oh, he's taking it. Okay. After that dour Bears note, let's go to Dan, who I know will not agree with Woody this time like he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, third? You think third, Dan?
Second or third.
See? He's close.
So who do you have winning the division?
It's going to still be a dogfight, I think, between Detroit and Green Bay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I agree with them.
Unfortunately. And the way the NFL lines up the schedule.
Lions and Green Bay.
Sorry, bud. Go ahead.
I mean, like, I think it's a dog fight between all three. All three teams make the playoffs. It was funny to see on a national sporting network like Fox, because they always hate the North, but they had three teams from the North making the playoffs. That was Fox Sports. We'll see what CBS and the Eastern Seaboard, sports network, what they think. But it's interesting. But I want to welcome to the show, Mason. Mason, how you doing? What show you representing, Mason? I haven't talked to you yet, I don't think.
Mason. Yeah.
That's not Mike Mason, is it?
No.
It says Mason Man of Mayhem.
Oh, Mayhem.
Well, what's
No,
up,
it's
bro?
definitely a podcaster because I only sent the link to the podcast.
Well, I don't know who
Yeah.
he represents, but
Which show, Mike? Which show is he from? Do you know?
They're all supposed to come down and represent themselves.
all right. Well,
All right.
what's
Well,
If
wait
they
for
would have
Mason.
had the name of their podcast, I know, but I'm not sure who it is.
All right.
Is that-
Well, hey, growing pains of a new network as we get to know all the new people. So, okay, we've talked. Now, I guess we
I
gotta
see
talk
his
about
mic moving, but he's not saying nothing. Something on his end is messed up.
Yeah, you might have to refresh. You might have to refresh.
You might have to come out and jump back in. I think he tried to enter one other time.
So let's talk about the Green Bay Packers.
Let's talk about him.
Okay, first off, before I talk about the Packers, I have a word from an NFL Hall of Famer.
Packers suck.
Okay, now that that's over, all right, Rob, give it to me. How good are your Packers this year?
Yeah, look, man, we finished with 9 wins. I agree with you. There's going to take some growing pains on the defense, but I don't think we're as far off as people think. I think, like last year, our offense took like 6-7 games to get going. I think the defense is going to be the same way, but it's not going to be terrible. It's to start. I mean, we got speedsters, man. We added. I've never seen a draft where we drafted 3 guys in one position at safety like we did. I mean, it's and the way Goody's been drafting the last couple of years, he drafts multiple guys at multiple positions to guarantee that we're locking down each position. Last year, it was a bunch of wide receivers and tight ends. All those guys are on the team. They all played well. This year, he's going to defense. I mean, and even our first round pick from last year, Van Ness, was great. Hey, man, we got with this new defense and our new coordinator and how aggressive he plays and how his style is. And I mean, you guys better look out. All you guys added to the offense, and the Green Bay added to the defense to counter your guys' offense. I mean, this is to make it so that we can be competitive with you guys because we realize you guys added, you guys are really trying, and there's no more easy division. So, we respect it, and you'll see it. I promise.
Yeah,
but we're
Ken,
going to get 10 wins at least. Ken, thank you for giving us 10.
I mean, Ken, it sounds like Rob's coming around to the idea that 10 wins doesn't win the division anymore. Would that be a fair assessment?
Absolutely. With at least the top 3 teams in the division, I don't think 10's getting you the first seed with it. We've all improved way too much. This division's too competitive. And if the Vikings happen to figure out their quarterback situation, they could possibly hit that too. But I'm going to have to say with Rob here and say that Green Bay is going to win us a few more than fucking 10 wins. We should be at 13 as long as our defense plays at least anywhere near like we're expecting it to on the Packers side. With how this offense has been and Jordan Love's progression, we got to say that we got a good outlook for it. Now, if the defense falls flat, we might be closer to that 10 wins, but we'll see.
I don't see
Hey,
it, man. I
Mason,
mean,
if you
advantage
fix
our
your
defense
mic,
was
just let
last
us
year.
know. We'll put you back in, but you got to fix your mic.
Hey, Woody. I
Yep.
mean, we've watched the Bears change scheme. We watched the Lions change scheme. We watched the Vikings change scheme. And here come the Packer fans saying scheme change, immediate effect. What do you say?
I mean, you got to be impressed with last year. Like I said before, youngest team to win a playoff game. I think they just got they got better, so they're going to have a better record than last year. The only thing, if I was a Packer fan, to worry about is the famous sophomore slump. So if he doesn't have a slump and that defense works well, they'll probably win the division. But I still think it's going to be a dogfight between them and Detroit.
What about you, D-Roy?
Like I said, I think it's just going to be a dogfight between the Bears, the Lions, and the Packers. I don't see the Vikings doing much unless something miraculously happens with Sam Darnold or JJ.
This question's for you, D-Roy. He says, question for the Viking guy. Who's your starting quarterback, Darnold or
It's going to be Sam Darnold.
If it's Darnold, how long do you think before JJ becomes the starter?
Week 2.
I'm gonna give it till next season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give a quick take on the Packers, and then I'll give a quick take on the Darnold JJ thing. Speaking as a fan with experience of drafting young quarterbacks, we do way too much in Chicago. I think Green Bay, they got their offense clicked last year. They're look at your head coach in Green Bay, phenomenal job at calling the offense, putting your offense in position to make plays. The problem is going to be this: that defense, and on the plus side, you are super young. They should be able to maybe adjust quicker than guys who've been in the league 5, 6, 7, 10 years playing in a certain scheme than changing scheme. So I'll give it that. But I think that defense is going to have some growing pains. It's going to cost you a couple games. 13 games, I don't think is going to happen for the Packers. 10, I think, is definitely in the wheelhouse. 11, 12, maybe. 13, that defense is going to cost you too many games early as they make the adjustment because there's still an adjustment. But I'll say this. I think the Packers will adjust faster than the other 3 teams in the division did because of their youth, because they don't have a guy who's played a 3-4 for 10 years who's now going to a 4-3 kind of situation. So I think that helps the Packers. Now, as far as the Vikings and Darnold and JJ, Sam Darnold will be that quarterback until one of 2 things happen. 1, he gets hurt. Then obviously JJ comes in quick. 2, if the Vikings start out like last year and go 0-5, 0-6, whatever, something like that, dude, you get to 0-4. Watch what's going to happen in Minnesota. They're going to say, we drafted JJ, moved up in the draft, made all these moves, blah, blah, blah. We want JJ now. That's going to be the fans talking. Not a level-headed guy like D-Roy. The fan base is going to yell it and yell it loud. The media in Minnesota is going to yell it and yell it loud. It's going to be what happened with Fields. It's going to be what happened with Trubisky. It's going to be what's happened with every quarterback Chicago's drafted and started way too early. And they will ruin J.J. McCarthy if he's starting by week 6 because he's going to get smoked. He's not ready. So
I watched the clips from just the mini camp of just the rookies. And bro, a lot of people are like, what did they do? They're like, they think they got a good quarterback, but they reached too early for him. They could have got him later. A lot of people think McCarthy went way too early.
Yeah, but
I'm one guy to let's see it on the field. I'm a big proponent.
I think the teams that were picking after us that were looking for a quarterback would have snagged them up, though.
I mean, I was gonna say, Ken, can you really blame them though? Because look, there was a fire sale on quarterbacks in the draft. So you're in Minnesota, knowing you need a quarterback, and like almost everyone else that you were even remotely considering is off the board. You've got JJ sitting there. Who was after JJ?
If we would have passed on him, he could have easily fell to the Raiders.
To the Raiders, you might have had
Broncos.
But the Broncos did not want him. Sean Payton.
No, they were going to take Bo Nix.
Yeah, Sean Payton went out and had himself a press conference where he told the absolute shit out of the Vikings and said he put out a bunch of rumors that they were going up for JJ to make the Vikings trade up. He said when we wanted Bo Nix the whole time, and with his shitty and grin, he said it. So
I think
he
the
kind
Raiders
of played the
wanted
Vikings
Penix
a little bit on that one.
The Falcons screwed the Raiders. They wanted Penix.
Yep.
The Raiders have screwed the whole quarterback draft up, taking Penix at 8.
Question for Packer fans, real quick. Packer fans, question here. When will the new Packers president be announced, and how will it affect Goody's job?
Well, I think Gooch's job is going to be left alone, especially if the new president there is going to be somebody with some football expertise, and especially if they're brought up in the Packer system. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear any announcement until either very late in the season or most likely at the end of the season. They have started the search now, but I think they're going to keep this well under wraps for a while.
I mean, Rob, let's worst case scenario this. Let's say my take on the defense is worse than even I think, and you guys, your defense really struggles this year, right? And instead of winning 10 games, you either break even with last year or, God forbid, regress and win one last game. With the new president, could that maybe put Goody on a hot seat?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Goody's done pretty good. I mean, for the most part. I mean, other than the whole, like some people, like half the fan base is like torn up between the whole Rodgers and Goody, whatever the hell happened there. But Love is helping Goody out by making people forget about Rodgers. So I mean, look, man, winning does it. If he's losing, if the defense doesn't hit like it's supposed to, especially the way he went at the draft. I mean, we went hard at linebacker and safety. I mean, yeah, there's a real chance he'd be on the hot seat. But I think Poles is more on the hot seat than Goody. I mean, you guys really gotta. If Caleb don't hit, you guys are going to be.
You mean when?
Well, all right, when? All right, but I think, look, I think you guys are good. I think this is the best decision the Bears have ever had in their entire. I mean, I think the North should understand. I'm 54 years old. I don't remember you guys having an offense like this. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't even. I'm kind of concerned with your offense.
Probably the only thing close would be the Marshall Jeffrey days with what?
Number 2.
Yeah, but you still got a lot at running back, and your tight end is way better than you had back then.
I agree. You asked the question, I gave you the best answer.
I know, but I'm just saying, I just don't remember you guys ever having. You guys really add a lot of depth, and we got to see if it works out. On paper, I'm telling you, on paper means unproven until you get out there and do it. But on paper, you guys improved 100%, man. And
Did you say that one more time for the real Illinois?
I said it, man. You can go on record on any one of the shows I'm on, bro. I'm giving you props. If you guys don't show up, though, I'm gonna give you hell. Just to let you know.
I mean, look, Woody has not been afraid to let us know about his disdain for the Bears' #1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't like your free agency either. He don't like Swift.
Nope.
You don't like Swift either.
Nope. Everybody thinks Swift. Everybody thinks Swift is, he's a great passer or he's a great catcher out of the backfield. Well, he had the Philly Eagles fucking offensive line last year. Of course, he's going to be good. But when he was in Detroit, like I said, he couldn't catch worth shit. So I'm not. What's that?
What do you think about Allen?
Allen's a 1-year rental. So if he sucks this year, like I said, Poles already said they're taking their time on the extension, which is actually common sense. But, do we need another wide receiver next year in next year's draft? We never know, but we got a lot more draft picks next year than we did this year.
Well, an update on Mason. Since D-Roy ain't going to stick up for his boy, he's from Broseph Sports and Shield TV. He just got a mic problem.
Oh, he's a Viking fan?
No.
What is he a fan of? Who's he a fan of?
He likes the Packers.
I was gonna say
they both like them. Ken and Rob's like, okay, I could do
his mic.
I was going to say, hey, we'll take any Packer backer.
His mic didn't work. I thought he was a Eagles fan.
So
hell no.
He's probably got some
the Bears,
fancy headphones or something. He can't get linked up.
What I like about what the Bears did in the draft, and what I like about what Foles has done in general is this: he's breaking the mold. Like Rob before the draft, like they got to trade back at 9, and I don't blame Rob for saying that because Rob is thinking, what do the Bears do? Same old Bears, instead of John Dorn's famous "same old Lions." Rob in his head's thinking, "Same old Bears." You're going to trade back at 9 because, well, that's what the Bears do, right? And I was sitting there going, no, we're going to take a doomsday. And look, there were Bear fans who were agreeing with Rob. We're going to trade back at 9. We're going to trade because that's what the Bears did. What I like what Foles is doing in Chicago, and I don't think he's on the hot seat this year. He's on the hot seat in maybe 2 years because they're not going to base it on Caleb year 1. They're going to base it on Caleb year 2 or year 3. But I like what he did is he kind of broke the mold with drafting at 9, taking that quarterback number 1 overall. And I like what he's doing with Keenan Allen. He's like, look, I'm not adverse to signing him to a deal, but I want to see how he does this year some before I even think about signing him to an extension. So if Keenan has a year like last year, like he had with the Chargers, and the money's good, I don't think Foles will have a problem signing him, even though he's out of the age group he showed last year. Foles, once we think we got him figured out, right, Ken? The second I think I have him figured out, he changes on us. So that's what I like. I don't think Foles on hot seat.
Welcome, A-Dub.
Well, yeah, the only thing that I'd say would really put him on the hot seat is if Caleb crashes and burns and plays absolutely horrible. At that point, I could see it being that, hey, you moved on from Justin Fields that a lot of the fans absolutely loved for this guy that put out this horrible last season. That you're the very first thing you said when you had your opening press conference is that you were going to take the North and give it and not give it back. And you haven't even sniffed at it. That's the only way I see him getting jettisoned this year. Other than that, I can agree with you, Ken. It's probably a 2-year. As long as Caleb looks decent, it'll still give him another year. Which
if I'm a Bear fan, I'm going to be pissed off if we
the team that he had. You're not taking nothing over. Like he had to rebuild the whole team. He didn't say when he was. He
didn't have to rebuild the whole team. He went out and stripped the confidence himself.
Yeah, but did you see the leaked posts out that said something like Justin Fields wasn't a good team player?
What?
Yeah, so we talked about in House Hall this morning. Mike and I talked about it, and Dan. There was a report that came out on several different sites, same article, but many different sites. Basically, the gist of it's this: Justin wasn't good in meetings. He wasn't paying attention. He wasn't always a good teammate. And he wasn't coachable. That's the basic 3-argument thrust of this article. Bro. And see, and we talked about this morning because Rob is sitting there laughing because how vehemently I
I'm not. I'm shocked. I'm literally legit shocked.
Because I can see 2 out of the 3 of them, but they're not supposedly being a good teammate. When you've heard from multiple players how much they loved that guy when they were playing with him,
that's what I'm saying.
I can't buy that one. I can buy him maybe not giving 100% effort in the classroom, or maybe being an asshole while they're trying to coach him, because he did show some things on the field that made you just go, "What in the hell were you even thinking?"
So. But when I was defending that we should keep Fields because on paper you looked at Fields, he did basically what every coach wants, right? Got better every year. There's no regression. So that was my main thrust of why you don't make the change. But then you see stuff like this, and it's like, okay, there's all these things that happen in the back that none of us see. And then, it comes out later and it's like, what will happen? And hey, there's Mason, who's another Packers fan. And I got another one I'm going to add to saying. Hey, Papa Paul is joining us as well. Paul, let me go to Mason first. And Paul, Mason, what show are you representing?
I believe me and Darren got 2. One is Shield TV, and then
Broseph Sports.
There we go, Broseph Sports.
Okay, so what Shield?
Glad to have another Packers fan a part of
it. Shield TV.
Please shut up.
I'm sorry. Say again.
Shield TV is going to be a wrestling podcast, and Broseph Sports is going to be like an all sports podcast.
All right, there we go. And Papa Paul, welcome to the Huddle Network. And what show you represent?
WCFL Dolphins Talk. We're a Miami Dolphins fan base club but we invite other team members, fans from other teams to join us and talk about their team some, as well as just whatever's going on in the NFL football.
Now, there's a team, guys, we haven't talked about. I know we talked about on the morning show and kind of in the morning a smidgen because they went and added another wide receiver to that track team of theirs. You guys got to be happy down there in Miami with that wide receiving core.
Oh, yeah. Well, the running back core as well.
I got to ask you a question there, Papa Paul. How do you feel about Tua? Because I liked him a lot during the season, but towards the end of it, he made some throws that made me question how he even got to be a starter.
I support anyone who wears a Dolphin jersey, but I'll be honest with you, I am not his biggest fan. But he is my quarterback. He is my QB1, and I'm going to support him all the way. I honestly would not give him a contract extension right now. I would make him play this year out and possibly even franchise tag him next year, seeing if he can stay healthy a second year in a row, because the boy's never been healthy a full year in his entire career, college or NFL.
Now, I know one guy I really like. I'm in Florida too, Paul. I live in Florida. I think they're going to miss Van Ginkel. I think they're going to miss some of the defensive pieces, but especially Van Ginkel, who you just
I agree with that. My wife is not a huge football fan, but she fell in love with Van Ginkel's plays last year and stuff.
That's good. Van Ginkel is good. Do we still have A-Dub? A-Dub, I saw you there.
A-Dub's trying to get in now, actually.
Yeah, A-Dub, what do you think? Do you have any feelings about the Dolphins, A-Dub? If not, tell us what you feel about anything.
Yeah, if I was gonna ask any questions about the Dolphins, is like, how do you feel about the new look defense that you got now? Like, I feel like that side of the ball might have more issues to address more so than your offense.
Yeah, there's a lot more issues, especially having a new defensive coordinator. I'll be able to tell a whole lot more at training camp. I'll be at the whole first week of open training camp.
Oh, awesome. Okay. That's going to be a hell of an experience for you.
Paul, I gotta get with you offline. For sure.
Yeah, I'm retired disabledly and all, so I have the ability to stay down there. Plus, I have friends that live down there and things. I live in Florida. I'm just north of Tampa, though.
Well, I'm a little further north than you. I'm by Pensacola, so I'm a little further north than you. But I know. We're gonna talk offline.
Sure, anytime.
Because I got some Dolphin helmets to send with you. No, but I think the Dolphins are gonna have a good. They're gonna be playing for that division. My problem is with the Dolphins is not going to be necessarily the defense, which I think took a hit in the offseason. My problem with the Dolphins is this: that offense, for as much power as it had, I mean, dude, that offense last year, look, it put up 70 damn points on Denver. Granted, it was Denver, but 70 freaking points. And then left these other games, they couldn't even find a 5-yard pass. They couldn't find anything. Well, it's like this offense was so, I won't say hit or miss. I think that's overplayed.
And to me, that falls back on the coaching. When you're doing a screen pass where it's 7 yards behind the line, the guy's running 10 yards, but only making a 2 or 3 yard gain.
Oh, we know those screen passes.
Same thing with a lot of the running plays.
No.
Pitching the ball out 5 yards behind the line, and he's running for 7 or 10 yards, but only making 2 or 3 yards. It's not working.
Yeah, Dolphins, luckily though, are in a division where they're still going to be very, very competitive to win a division. I mean, look at Buffalo, basically somewhat dismantled their team because of the cap. New England is trying to figure it out. The Jets,
they're just in straight rebuild mode.
The Jets could be really, really good if Aaron Rodgers is healthy. So I mean, to me though, it comes down to the Jets or the Dolphins to win the East this year.
Wow. Yeah, I think the Jets are going to be something to look out for as far as the AFC East. But a team I think everyone's really going to have to look out for today and not discount them is going to be Houston.
Houston's looking real
100%.
nice.
Yep, I agree.
100%.
And when I think of the Jets, I think their biggest issue for the most part has to be the turf that they play on. Because it seems like that the turf that the Jets play on, along with the Giants, that turf takes a toll on everybody. It'd be claiming a lot of injuries from a lot of players lately.
You know,
Like
A-Dub,
they need to change it.
You bring up a good point, A-Dub, and we talked about this on the morning show, I think briefly, but maybe we need to do a whole morning show on. I don't get the NFL moving to this turf when all you see is the NFLPA and players talk about how they hate the turf, how it leads to injuries, and yet here are the Bears thinking about building a new dome stadium to do what? Put turf in it instead of natural grass. Why are NFL franchises going away from the natural grass to go to this turf like in New York when all you hear from players is how bad it is for them?
Well, in actuality, New York is going to have to go to grass starting 2026.
Do tell.
Well, the 2026 World Cup is going to New York.
Oh, yeah.
And soccer will not play on turf.
What the hell, man? How does soccer demand this?
Hold on. For those that don't know, I am a huge Bayern fan, and on the morning show, I said, "Hey, what if we did a Champions League but for American football?" And John lost it, so now it's a running joke that all we do is talk about soccer. But no, Papa Paul makes a good point. They will have to go grass because FIFA will not let them play a game there unless it's natural grass. And look at Detroit, put grass in the old dome to have World Cup games there back in the 90s when we hosted the World Cup last time. So we know it can be done. In fact, the Champions League game that John just got mad about me talking about for Bayern, right, that was played in Spain, was played in a domed stadium in Spain on natural grass. So why can't we put natural grass in our dome stadiums? Like, why can't they do that
at the same,
in Minnesota?
at the same time, why can't the NFL just demand it?
Yes, I was about to say, why doesn't the NFL just like take control and make it
Been
so?
saying that, dude. I want natural grass. Been saying that.
Yeah,
I mean that's what a lot of these players are thinking about. Is
we're
that
gonna let them
for these FIFA games? They're switching over to this natural grass, and a lot of times these teams are taking it out after the freaking game, and they're saying, "Oh, you can hurry up and switch it to natural grass for them, but you want us playing on turf, getting a whole bunch of soft tissue injuries."
Which to me is crazy,
I mean, look,
especially when they're going to wear the ball.
And the Giants Stadium's one of the worst.
Oh, yeah.
There's more injuries at that Giants Jet Stadium than any other stadium.
I thought it was Philly. Philly used to have a horrible field.
I mean, Mason, think of it this way, right? Mason, is if New York is going to change to accommodate FIFA, the biggest sports organization, most powerful sports organization probably in the world, right? To go from this crap turf to grass, right? Why not just, if FIFA, does it, why can't the NFL do what FIFA says everyone must go to grass? Because obviously they can maintain it. And in New York, it's an open air stadium. That's not even a dome.
Well, it's just like Messi down in Miami. He, in his contract, he will not play any field on turf.
I don't think there's a MLS team that has turf, is there?
I don't know.
Atlanta's natural grass in their dome.
Yeah, but it's that important to him that he has it wrote into his contract.
Yeah,
That's how important it is to him.
I don't understand that, man. The only dome,
Aaron Rodgers of soccer, boys.
I was gonna say
the only dome team in the MLS that I can think of, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Atlanta, but that's natural grass in Atlanta. So if Atlanta can have natural grass in their dome, why can't everyone else, or especially an open air team, have grass?
Come on, bro.
I agree.
I agree, John.
It doesn't matter, man. You can grow anything indoors, man. I mean, people make millions of dollars growing plants indoors. What are you talking about?
They were able
to grow some grass inside a damn stadium, bro.
I mean, if they were able back in the mid 90s to have natural grass playing surface in the old dome in Detroit, 30 years later they should be able to do it.
Yeah, bro.
There you go, John. Yeah, and it wasn't me. I wasn't the first. I was the last, actually. But the point though is valid though. Like, if FIFA and professional soccer leagues across the globe are natural grass or nothing, why is American football the only sport saying, nope, it's going to be turf? Baseball does turf too in a few places, but grass is preferred, right? But the NFL, it's like it's a smooth turf, which everyone hates except for the owners. I don't get it.
Well, I think Roger Goodell should get off. I mean, he's gonna give every player the option to wear that stupid bubble helmet all during the regular season. So I mean, we can worry about CTE and all the head trauma, but we can't worry about these guys. I mean, we're taking the hip drop tackle out and all these tackles. We're changing the game, but the field isn't more important than all of that. I mean, come on, man, that's just like ass backwards.
I mean, you
good old.
Of course, Dorn here talking about soccer.
No, you lose a lot of players to injury on turf.
Yep.
Thank you, John.
You're right.
I mean, look at we should take our cue from John's favorite sport, soccer, and go to all natural grass. You know, I mean, we really should, and we'll see though, Mason. Do you think New York will keep the natural grass after the World Cup, or do you think they'll revert right back to turf?
I mean, I feel like it would probably be dependent on how everyone else feels. Because if anything, Aaron Rodgers will cry like a little girl and be like, "No, this is what I want."
Well, bro, 4 plays in, he lost his.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he sits here and cries so much for someone who is like freaking Bakhtiari, injury ridden, and then just sits on the bench collecting millions of dollars to do absolutely nothing.
He had one season where he was injured for the whole season with them. You can't say he's like Bach where he's sitting on the bench multiple times.
But I'm just saying, like, Rodgers likes to complain if it's not done his way because he thinks he is God. He thinks he's the next Tom Brady. He thinks he's God's gift to football.
That's I mean,
I love it. You battle it.
You have the argument if we put real defenses around them.
But I'm just saying, Rodgers acts as if he is God's gift to football and that no one can touch him. It's like people are coming around to these younger / mediocre quarterbacks, and they're like, I can do what he does. Probably not like super amazing, but I'm still producing. I'm still getting yards, still getting touchdowns, still making plays.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers has it in his head that no one can do what he does.
Well,
there is someone did say
maybe Patrick Mahomes that can do it like that.
On my show the other night, someone did mention about the Giants, or it was the Jersey Boys show I was on. Said the Giants will probably just put real grass over their turf and pull it up when the soccer's done with.
Probably.
And on that unfortunate take, fellas, I want to welcome you all to the Huddle Network. Thank you, Paul, for being here. Thank you, Mason, for popping in. Thank you to all the guys who I've known forever for being here tonight. The network kicks off tomorrow morning with Ken and Ken in the morning. There's our Mondays again. We're actually going to go a couple minutes. We're going to go about a minute or two over to show you this. There is Monday. Go ahead and show them Tuesday, Mike. There's our Monday shows. There's Tuesday. Coming up, there's Wednesday. Thursday's coming. Now Friday. He's rifling through them. These are all the shows we got coming to you. These will be posted to the web pages. I want to thank you all. If you're a podcaster looking to get on air, reach out to myself, Bear Fan Mike, Packer Backer Ken, or Bill the Packer Fan, and we will try to get hooked up for you. We got a lot of good things coming. We're starting here on Roku, working towards Fire Stick and getting a couple of apps. And of course, we're on the Huddle YouTube network and a bunch of different Facebook pages across the platform. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Look forward to seeing you all again. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow morning on Ken and Ken. Peace out. Have a great Mother's Day and be safe, everyone.
We also
Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Too.
What'd you say, Mike?
I said we added a couple more podcasts during the show. That's where Papa Paul came in.
Yeah,
I got a couple other, which I will update and post them daily.
Well, hey, before we go to the outro,
go ahead, Ken, and then I'll go.
Yeah, what night are you gonna be on, Paul? Let everyone know when you're gonna be on.
I think we've got Saturdays at 4 to 5. I think it is, and then Mondays will be 4 to 5 or 5 to 6. Don't remember exactly what I told Mike.
Well, we'll check out your show, man.
Well, he wanted a couple slots, but they kind of got filled as he was looking, and I told him that we're adding podcaster daily, but we can go around the horn real quick, and we'll start with Packer Backer News. Just go around the horn where we catch you at?
You can catch me, Ken, and Rob with a lot of different guests in the morning for the morning show of Ken and Ken in the morning. We'll gladly be interacting with you guys. We welcome comments. That's what we drive most of the morning show off of, is the fan engagement. And then for our night shows on Mondays and Fridays at 7 Central, we got the Frozen Tundra Network that is nothing but Packers. And, well, there's a little bit of ribbon with division rivals, but we'll gladly love to see you there. And thanks, everybody, all the podcasters, for joining us. We're going to have ourselves one hell of a Roku channel, guys.
Where can we catch you, A-Dub?
Any eating Monday and Friday nights, I'm on the Frozen Tundra Network, and also I'm also part of another group known as Go Pack Go. Go Pack Go Nation. That's another group that I'm a part of as well. You can catch us there anytime. There's every once in a while we will do a live show sometimes during the week, but yeah, that's what I'm a part of.
Might as well go through all these Packer fans.
Every morning. Hey, man, look, I'm on the All Football Talk show, man. I love talking just straight football. We talk about everything. There ain't a topic we can't talk about, and there ain't a topic we don't talk about. I mean, I mentioned we talk about soccer, right? No. we got a Monday. I mean, Frozen Tundra is another great show. We talk Packers, and at least for 30 minutes we talk about the division, and we talk shit on everybody. So everybody, all you guys, welcome. Come join our podcast. Come get in the comments. Come on show. I mean, we'll get you guys on. Come in. I mean, especially in the morning, man. It's all football talk. We got a Raiders fan, a Falcons fan. We take them all. Sometimes we got I like to have a Dolphins fan. Shit, that'd be awesome. Let's go. Bring it.
Right. And you forgot about the Frozen Tundra. Half the time they actually talk about Bears football, but we'll move it to the next.
Owning the Bears. That's all we talk about is how we own the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, 5 years. It's getting old. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
Well, you can catch me and Darren Saturday, Sundays. We are doing Shield TV and Broseph Talk, sports and wrestling. So I appreciate you guys letting me join this community. Look forward to making some good content.
You can catch me on Shield TV on Saturdays, and you can catch me on Skol Gang 365 on Saturday nights. And then you can also catch me Sunday, Broseph Sports with Mason.
You catch me on the Halas Report Wednesday nights, Sunday mornings, and then Mondays from 5 to 6. You can catch me on Wrestling Roundup.
We got wrestling. Hey, you can catch me every day of the week.
I mean, you're not wrong there, Ken.
I know. So Monday through Friday, I'm on the morning show with Ken and Rob and a bunch of other yahoos. We like to talk about football, come up with some crazy ideas to have some fun with it. You can catch me Halas Hall on Wednesdays and the pregame on Sunday, and after pregame on Mike the Bear Fan. For those who subscribe, you can catch me on a little show we do there that may or may not have to do with actual football games. And then you can catch me on open mic night, probably on Saturdays here, and I kind of bounce around other places. I'm retired military. I have nothing but time on my hands, a grandbaby to fawn over, and a pool to swim in. So, yeah, I'm here like every day. If you have questions about the network, you can always message me. If you are podcasting when I get on, you can message me. If you have a business and would like to sponsor a show, you can message me. If there's anything you want to know about our network, well, once again, you can message me. I'm pretty easy to find.
And if you just want to troll Ken from bringing up soccer too much, you can message him.
and look, if you have a soccer show, if you want to do a soccer show, I like watch. I grew up playing. I can tell you some of the guys I played with. If you're a soccer fan, you'd know them. But I went a different route. I did the Army. If you want to do a soccer show, we definitely have room. I'll pop on. I just don't follow it to the degree of which I follow NFL football. I do follow the best team, though, in Europe, being Bayern Munich. I follow ML. Yeah, we lost the championship. The ref got paid. Actually, Joshua Kimmich told the linesman that someone paid him classic. But I follow some MLS stuff, so Messi in Miami, all that good stuff. We have room for a soccer show. We have room for a baseball show. You want to talk NBA? We have some room on the docket for that. Love that we have a bunch of people that used to be with us on Nespover. Great to still be working with you. Great to be working with the new folks to the station. Another Floridian, gotta love it. We'll be doing pub subs after the show. If you're from Florida, you know what a pub sub is. If you don't, ask somebody. But no, enjoy being here. And of course, we'll let the man behind the mirror, whose face we very rarely see, but is always generating and doing something in the background, Mike the Bear fan, close us out.
Yeah, I'm Mike the Bear fan. If you have any question about the network, just go ahead and give me, Ken, Bill the Packer fan or Packer Backer News, Ken, a jingle, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We got podcasts coming to us daily, so we should have the schedule filled up within the next week, hopefully. But everybody have a good night. Happy Mother's Day.
Yep.
And bear
and
down.
Remember,
Skol.
Packers suck.
Fins up.